Okay, LibreNMS Docker containers. Now I'm going to start right off here and say that I am not a Docker savant. If you want to run this in a production setting, you're definitely going to need to watch a couple more videos and do a little bit more research and learning on Docker in general. This is just enough to get you Docker installed and LibreNMS up and working. If you already know how Docker works, you probably don't even need to watch this video. They have some nice Docker Compose examples in here. And if you've watched some of the other videos I have about some of the settings, they're pretty much all the same exact settings you set in the full-blown installation. You're just setting them in the Docker Compose file. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to get Docker installed and LibreNMS working on it. Okay, first we need to get Docker installed, and Docker is the software that runs these Docker containers. So if you want to think about virtual machines for a second, you know that the hypervisors are things like ESXi or Hyper-V. These are the software that runs the VM images. And the exact same concept here is that Docker is the software that runs these containers. So we have these LibreNMS containers here we want to run, but we need to get the software installed to do that. So when you're installing Ubuntu, you can set the option to install Docker. I believe that installs it with a snap packaging system. In any case, the systemd service name might be different, and it might install Docker in a couple different locations. I think everything in here will still work fine. There's also like an APT, I think from the Ubuntu repository you can install Docker. Just keep in mind there's a couple different ways you can install Docker, and it might all work in the end, but some of the service names might be different, or maybe where they install Docker. So I'm actually going to install Docker directly from the source. So if you go over to the docs.docker.com website, they have some very good documentations on here and how to install it on Ubuntu, and you can see here they kind of just lay it out here. They're adding the repositories in here and installing all the packages, but they actually give you a little script here that does all that for you. So I usually just run this. Now they do say if you're going to be running this production, make sure you know everything in this script, what it's doing, so forth and so on. So that's why I mentioned you should really get a good handle on Docker before you run this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. Password. Okay, now this is complaining that I already installed Docker once before, but if I just let it wait 20 seconds here, it's going to reinstall it over what I have. So if you haven't had Docker installed, you probably won't see this script. Now, if you had Docker installed via one of the other ways, either Snap or through one of the other APT repositories, I'm not sure what will happen. They actually do tell you in the beginning here to uninstall all the other Dockers that you have before you run this. So, if you were doing this fresh, I would definitely just start with a brand new install of Ubuntu and get it all set up correctly. Okay, so this installed here. Now, there's one other thing we need besides Docker if we want to run LibreNMS the correct way, and that is Docker Compose. Now, there should be a Docker Compose install section in here. Install Docker Compose, and we're going to go to Linux here. And there's two commands here that we run. This is actually copying Docker Compose to our local machine here. So let's run this. And I always do this under root. And you would actually not even need that sudo in there since I already am root. Let's see, and then we're going to copy this. We're going to give execute permissions on this file. Okay. Now we should do Docker Compose version. Okay, that is saying that Docker Compose installed. That is great. So now that we have both Docker and Docker Compose installed, Docker actually runs as like a systemd service, so I usually check that. Docker. Okay, that's active and running, so that is good. Yeah, if you've installed it via that Snap packaging system, you're going to see that the service name is different here. It's not Docker.service, it's like Snap.Docker D. I don't even know what it was, but yeah, it's just going to be different, so don't be shocked if this doesn't work on your installation. Okay, so now that all this is running, we can start to go over to the LibreNMS Docker website here. So if you already had Docker installed, you'd probably want to start off right here. Now, I guess this is the point where it gets kind of confusing for most people, because there's not kind of like, what do I do next? If you know how Docker works, it's kind of obvious what you would do next. You'd probably run some of these containers or create a Docker Compose file, and the Docker Compose file is what I want to focus on, because that's kind of the main way you should be running LibreNMS. So if you look around here, you might see some examples that say Docker run here. If we go into this dispatcher service here too, you'll see another Docker run command here, and basically this is running the LibreNMS dispatcher container. And this would work. It would start the dispatcher container, but there's a couple problems. One, this is one command line, and there's a bunch of settings in here, and we have to take into account that the fact that this Docker host might restart eventually, and we want to restart these all on boot. And we have to keep all these settings kind of in clear text. Not necessarily that's a benefit, but it's just kind of messy to have all these here. And we also have to multiply this by like 3 or 4, because we need more than just the LibreNMS dispatcher container. We need actually the LibreNMS software. We need a database container. We need other things to work to make the whole LibreNMS solution work. We just don't need one container. So Docker gets around this by using a Docker Compose file. And if you look at some of these settings in here, like this sidecar-dispatcher1, you can set all these settings in a Docker Compose file. So if we go back up here into the actual files, they have an examples compose and docker-compose. And if you look in here, you can see here that there's different containers here, like db, memcached, redis, mstpd. This is a mail email container. Here's the actual LibreNMS container, the dispatcher container for LibreNMS, syslog-ng container. So you can see here, there's tons of containers in here to make the whole LibreNMS solution work, but we only need a couple. We only really need the database container, redis, LibreNMS, and probably the LibreNMS dispatcher too. Yeah, those are really the only ones you need to make it work. Like if you weren't doing anything with syslog or need to ingest syslog at all, you don't really need this container. We don't need this memcached container either, because we use Redis now. This was kind of the old way of doing it, so you could omit this container also. And I'm not going to worry about mail in this one, because that might be its own kind of separate subject, setting up your mail servers and sending out emails. But this would be the container you would need for that too. So if we go back a directory here, we can see that there's just a couple files we need to create. We're going to omit this one for now because this is the email one, but we do need to create these 3 files in a directory on our Ubuntu server here. So let's go into a directory here. I'm going to call, let's see, I'm going to exit to my LibreNMS admin user, and I already created a folder here called LibreNMS Docker. And if you see here, I have a couple files in here. Now, I'm going to remove this DB folder. That's what happens when I run the Docker Compose file. When I run that Docker Compose file, it created that directory. So for now, you can just assume this is an empty directory, and actually it created that LibreNMS folder too. So, and I'll show you where you set those at. But there's actually 3 files in here. There's also a .env file. I don't know what the ls command to show that is, but anyways, yeah, there's a .env file, and you can see here that I almost copied them word for word. These are pretty much self-explanatory. The time zone of your LibreNMS installation. This is the user ID and group ID of a user and group on your host. This gives it permissions, the Docker container permissions, to write into that directory or execute or read into that directory. So you want to set this to the user on the host. And you also have the database username and password in here. This is what LibreNMS is going to use to connect into the database. So you need to set these also and create these also in here. So we set that. Let's go back in here. We'll look at our next file here, the librenms.env. These are pretty much kind of the same type of settings. One's just in a .env and one is in a librenms.env. Anyways, here's some of the other settings we need to set, and these are just more kind of just like options in LibreNMS. I think I have these pretty much defaulted to whatever they put in here. You know, like your LibreNMS SNMP community string for like auto discovery or adding devices, and it just checks a couple SNMP strings. You could put that in here. So let's go to the Docker Compose. That's going to be the good one. So we're going to go Docker Compose. And if you look at here, I told you that we didn't need some of the containers. So starting at the top here, you can see that I have a database container for MariaDB, and it's pretty much the same exact stuff that they posted in here, because if you look at this time zone, we need to set this time zone variable for this Docker container, and it's grabbing it in this, it's grabbing a variable .tz. And it's going to look in, I believe, that the .env file for this. So yeah, these variables here, it's going into that .env file and setting it. You could actually hard code it in here directly in this Docker Compose file. There's no reason why you can't just put it hard-coded in there. I think it's more for security reasons why you don't want to do that. So in any case, you can see here that there's also a volume that got created, and in Docker, you basically need a place where you can save information, because when you stop a Docker container, everything in there is gone. It's wiped out. Any changes you made, any files you created, they're gone. When you shut down a Docker container and bring it back up, it totally starts like fresh again. But obviously that doesn't work for everything, because we need to save data between reboots of Docker containers and stopping and starting. So we map a folder on the host into a folder in the container, and that way that whenever the container wants to write to this directory inside the container, it's actually writing it to this folder on the host. And that's why when you saw I went into that directory, I had a /db folder in there, because it created this for this container. And the same thing with Redis. We don't really need that many settings for that. It just looks like the time zone. And you see here we have a couple other settings in here. I think I did edit this depends on. So if we go down here to the LibreNMS one, you'll see that it has depended on memcached and the mail one, which I took out. So if I didn't start these or had these running, it would fail, because it says, okay, I can't run this software without these. I depend on them, but we know it will work without it. Okay, so I just want to mention that, you know, if you already have a database running, you don't need to put these database containers in there. In fact, all this stuff is kind of modular. If you already have a Redis server running, you don't necessarily need it to run the Docker container of this. But if you're starting out from fresh and you don't have any of this stuff, then yes, you will need all this in here. So now that we've created these 3 files here, let's go back in here, and we're going to do a Docker. First, we're going to run it as sudo, because I believe you need root permissions to run this. This is another one of those things where, you know, he's like, oh, I don't want to run it as root. Well, you need to go watch some other Docker videos how to set up the permissions correctly. Sudo docker compose. I'm just going to do up. Now you need to go into the directory that you have you created those 3 files in. And then once you're in that directory, if you run a docker compose command up on that directory, it's going to look for that docker compose file and then just start running all that stuff. So we're going to run this like this, and you can see here that it's going out and getting Docker and doing all that stuff. Now, if you've never ran that before, it has to go pull all the images for the first time, so that might take a little bit longer to get this far. But yeah, it will get to eventually to here, and it looks like it didn't really give us any errors or anything. This looks all pretty normal, so this should actually be working here. Okay, so I need to get logged into my LibreNMS web GUI here. So this started, and it runs on port 8000, which you can see right here, port 8000. So we need to go to the IP address of our Docker host and then port 8007. Port 8000. Okay, and the default login is librenms. Okay, and now we're in our LibreNMS website here, and obviously we can go here and change the password. Okay, now that the web GUI is working fine, we really don't want to run Docker as an interactive shell. We really want to start it as a daemon, and you can go into that directory and run docker-compose up-d, and that'll run it as a daemon in the background, but even that's not good because after reboots, we still need to run that. So usually I like doing systemd, just creating a systemd service. That way you can manage the Docker compose coming up and down with systemd, and also it'll survive reboots. So anyways, we just need to go into here and create a file in etc systemd system, and I've already created the file here. I'll link a file, this file, in the description, but if you go in here and create this Docker compose file, nano docker-compose.service, and you just need to set all the settings in here. Again, I'll just post this for you, but you got to make sure you know where docker-compose lives, and make sure this directory is correct, and also the working directory where we compose file, .env file, and LibreNMS file, that needs to be set to this working container here. Okay, so let's save this, and now we should be able to do systemctl daemon reload. This will reload that configuration file, and I'm going to do systemctl enable Docker compose service. That should start it on a reboot. Then we're just going to do systemctl start docker. I misspelled something. Why is it not? I don't know why it's not auto-completing. Oh, I think I already had it started from earlier. Maybe that's why. Is that really why? Let me see real quick. That'd be crazy if somebody programmed to do that. The service is already running and you try to do start, don't let them auto-complete the service in there. I have to know if that's what the case was, because I think that's happened to me before, and I'm like, what is the problem? And I'm like, oh, the service has already started. Why am I trying to start it? Stopped. So let's do start. Oh my gosh, it does. That works. Oh, so that's good to know. Anyways, yeah, I already ran through this once before, so that's why I was already started and I didn't stop. But in any case, you need to create this file in that directory, daemon reload, enable it, and then start it. And now you can, if it started and you didn't get anything back, the prompt just came back, that usually means it's working fine. So you can do systemctl status, and you can see all the log messages in here that we were getting from before. And as you can see, it should be working. I didn't change this yet, so this is librenms. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it for LibreNMS and Docker. Obviously, you can go down the Docker rabbit hole and find tons of stuff to do with this. Yeah, there's a lot of Docker is like its own separate subject and everything. But hopefully this will get some people up and running with Docker, or at least maybe clear up an issue you were having. Thank you again for watching.